the Zero Wasted Days podcast, I want to inspire you to push the boundaries of what's expected in your life and your business, to challenge norms and your growth edges, and to go after the most audacious dreams, because I've seen for myself that anything is truly possible when you have a vision and are ready to go after it. Are you ready to jump in? Let's go. So we are back with part 2 of our episode that I recorded with Lea Pickard, and I know you are going to love all of the really practical advice that we get into inside this episode. It is a little bit shorter than the last one, but it is super jam-packed and juicy, and this is why we split it into 2. I didn't want you to get to 40 minutes in and then just kind of not listen to the rest. There was so much goodness right to the end that I thought, what a great idea, let's split it into 2. So here is the final bit of my conversation with Lea.
Say then are like the top things that you do in your life. Some people might think are wild and wacky, but some are like, okay, what are some things that I can do to clean up my act, so to speak? Because I know when I know I need to be on for my work, or I'm in like in a heavy visibility period, I'm fueling my body in such a good way with my juices, and I'm eating better, and because I'm consciously setting that intention, because I know that the relation to the output. So what are your suggestions for, I don't know, can you make a top 3, top 5?
I would love to. And what inspires me always is nature. So I like to think about the elements. Let each element inspire just one thing. And so the elements, we have air. The quality of air in our homes is somewhere between 5 to 1,000 times more dangerous than outside air. And so a simple thing is literally open windows and doors. Or another simple thing, stop bringing in things that have fragrance that are chemical fragrances. So that is not then polluting the air. That can be super simple. It could literally be like, okay, I'm going to stop lighting this candle that I don't know what the source of this smell is. Or it can literally be just open and close the doors and let fresh air in. So that could be one.
So on that, before I forget the question, the solution for the toxic candles as we go into pumpkin latte smelling candle season and winter and all the nice smelly warm cozy things, what's a good substitute?
A good substitute, I think this is probably the best substitute. A high quality essential oil and a diffuser, I think would be the best, because then you not only get the benefit of the smell and like you can make it a little clove, you also get the healing benefit of whatever that natural essential oil comes from. For example, clove is like an antiviral during a season when people are often getting sick. Yes. Yeah. I love that.
I like that one.
Yes.
I got diffusers all over the place. I'm an advocate.
Yes.
I got to do that one.
And they really do. They smell amazing. Yeah. They smell so good. Yeah. I also I just take my high quality essential oil and I just drop it in a toilet, drop it in a sink, things like that too, just to replace that. And then if you still want the candles in the candlelight, just get soy candles that are unscented. And you can literally drop a drop of essential oil right into that candle and you'll still get the same smell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. That's our air one.
That's air, right? Fire, in the case of fire, what you're really thinking about, I'm going to Ayurveda to look at this, is digestion.
Okay.
Fire means clean food. As often as possible, probably the best way to do that is to eat foods in their whole form and minimize processed foods. Yeah. And to believe, because there's so much research on this, that organic truly has fewer chemicals, that it does. But if you cannot do organic, you can also wash your food and you can look at lists of the foods that are least likely to have pesticides. There is a list called the Clean 15 that the Environmental Working Group puts out. And so focus on eating those foods. And then you're going to have fewer chemicals coming into your body which is then going to relieve the burden on your body, the chemical burden that exists simply because of our existence, unfortunately, on this planet, right? Yeah. Again, a remedy to that is, as often as possible, focus on whole foods and not making them complex. You can steam something and put olive oil on it. And it doesn't have to be
it's like the Italians, right? The best is just basic,
steam
right?
it, roast it, right? Exactly. It can be really simple, but minimizing processed as much as possible. Right now, the American, I don't know what the Canadian number is, but the American diet is 60% ultra processed foods. Not processed, ultra processed. I think it's something like 70 something percent processed foods.
I'd love to know what it is in France or places in Europe where it's a little bit less. There's still clearly a lot of processed foods here, but there's a little bit more of that eat seasonal vegetables.
I would love to know.
Only get things in season here at the market. And you can't get, well, you can now get strawberries and raspberries. I'd love to know.
Yeah, I'll research it for you and I'll let you know, because I would be very curious to know as well. Cool. And then, so we, again, if you think of it as the elements, water. Our bodies are made up of water, right? Every cell in our body is this electrical conductor. So making the water that you drink and that's in your home as clean as possible. And there are solutions that go from big to small. I have a whole house water filtration system. The water that comes from my street, because I do live in a house. I don't live in a yurt. I don't go get my water from a stream. I would love that too, but I don't do that, right? We want wild solutions in the modern world, right? Modern mamas. We need
work.
We need convenience. That's a whole house water filtration system. That is a several $1,000 solution. But there's also a pitcher that you can get. That's a $30 solution that uses charcoal. That's a charcoal-based water removal. Or you can also get water delivery of mineral water in glass, which is really helpful too. And you can get an under sink one for around $100. So there are a lot of solutions there. But when you think of the things that matter most, the things we have to do, we have to drink water, we have to eat food to survive, we have to breathe. So if you think of those 3 elements in particular, I think that those are so important. And then what's the other thing that we have to do? I think of this as the earth, is we have to rest. We sleep. We are required to, by our biology, to sleep. And it's so funny. They've done studies before where they tried to deprive people of sleep, and they have to stop the studies because people's physical health goes south so quickly.
Well, it's a torture tactic, isn't it?
It is a torture tactic, truly, right? We have to sleep.
It is.
So having the space that you sleep in be as clean as possible. At the very least, just make it sleeping on a pillow where your face, we spend 33 years of the average life is spent in our bed. Not all of that is sleeping. We're in our beds for over a
long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think of like earth grounding. That's our opportunity to reset, come back to ourselves, put our feet on the metaphorical ground. And to do that, to create the cleanest possible environment. The mattress is generally the most toxic thing in any household. Has more toxins than anything else in a household. So a clean mattress, a clean pillow. If you can't do that, clean sheet, clean pajamas, whatever's on your body overnight.
Essential oils going next to it.
Essential oils next to it. A citrus especially that's not necessarily the best for sleeping, but it's excellent for
good in the morning.
So run that in the morning and during the day and let it clean up that environment. And along with the earth, then for each of these, I would say bring us back to the way that we are meant to be as much as possible. For air, we're meant to be outside as much as possible. For fire, we're meant to eat wild foods as much as possible. We don't In the United States in particular, we don't have a lot of opportunities for that. We are meant to literally have our feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And we are meant to be in water. We are meant to get into water when we can, and fresh sources of water, whether it be salt water, whether it be an ocean, a lake, a stream, whatever it is. Water is putting your feet in water is the most grounding thing you can do. It's more grounding than having your feet on the earth, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating. And can you just give us quickly your 3 wackiest things that you do? You do some cool things with your hyperbaric chambers and
my
different
goodness.
things.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
The extreme version.
I know. Okay. This one isn't so extreme, but it looks the most extreme. At sunset, I put on a pair of complete blue spectrum blockers that look
Every day
at sunset, that look a little bit like you're riding a motorcycle, and a red that I jokingly call birth control for the faith, because they are literally just the weirdest looking things in
you
the
take
world.
them to the beach with you.
When I get home, I put them on once I get home and the amber light has drained out of the sky. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is one. I would say.
And then how long do you keep those on?
I keep those on until I go to sleep.
Until you go to sleep. Okay.
Yep. And there are different versions of this. Like some people just put them on, say, an hour before bed or something. And there is very good research. And I have also done my N of 1 research because I have an Oura ring. I know that it reduces how long it takes to fall asleep, and it increases the amount of deep sleep. And the deep sleep is where all the restorative, that's where your brain gets washed at night. That's where all the restorative stuff happens.
Okay.
And I think it's just how we are in the world. And the flip of that is I go outside as soon as I wake up in the morning and look at the sun. And while that doesn't seem like that would be that crazy, I know busy mamas for whom like that just feels truly impossible. Like it doesn't work if it's through, like our bodies are cued by sunlight. We adapted outside. So light is a big one for me. So watching light. I also am obsessed with my sauna, and the sauna that I have that looks crazy is one that you stick your head out of, because your body can get really hot and sweat and remove an enormous amount of toxins, because sweating is one of the most powerful ways to get rid of those chemical toxins. But your head sticks out, so your brain doesn't think stress mode. Your brain isn't in as much stress, even when your body is getting sweaty. And that looks pretty hilarious, especially when
I like it when you record your stories when you're inside there.
Yes, I was going to say at the same time. And then I also have red light, which can mimic sunlight. I have red light that I run at the same time. And one of my favorite things, talk about like frequency and vibration. I know that you do a lot. And look, I'll actually turn it on right now because I am standing on a vibration plate.
Ah, cool.
And so I literally stand on this. Wait, I'm turning it up.
Oh, I can just hear it. It's
so
blending in with the noise that's coming from my kitchen currently.
Wait till you hear my voice. And just vibrate. We are meant to like live in frequencies, right? Frequency is medicine. And so that's one of my latest obsessions. That's pretty wild.
So cool.
And there's some other smaller versions. There are little watches that do what's called haptic, that use haptic technology, and they use vibration to change frequency. And they're like super affordable. They're like $100. My vibe.
You must just constantly geek out on this stuff. You must just read and read. I know you do. So
I absolutely do. I love the research. I was an academic too, right? So I was an academic. I taught at university for almost 20 years. And I fell in love with knowledge. And part of the reason I left academics is there was the love of knowledge, but in my opinion, not enough of the turning that knowledge into action. And that's where the real power came from with the knowledge. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
reason I ended up doing what I was doing is so that I can then take that knowledge and turn it into power for people.
It's a gift. It's a gift. It's such a gift.
Thank you.
And it's been such a gift having you here, just impart so much wisdom on all of us. And I have one final question. One of my values, and my audience know I ask this question, is spirit of adventure. And part of my coming back to myself and evolving was coming back to really live in my values. Living in that spirit of adventure is really important to me. And I just love to ask my guests what adventure means to you.
You will appreciate that the name of my internet network is Wanderlust, because I very much live in the spirit of adventure. I feel called into experiences. To me, adventure is moving into the world to experience it fully. Adventure is being able to feel that with all 5 senses.
Yeah.
And to me, adventure is freedom. Ultimately, adventure is freedom. I would say freedom is probably my deepest core value. And so adventure for me allows me to hold up a mirror, bring it back to myself, to allow me to learn more about myself. And in so doing, I continue to just remove shackles, remove anywhere that I feel shackled. And for me, adventure does that. And so I get freer and freer every time I step fully, wholly, and with absolute presence into an experience.
Oh, I can feel that viscerally. I've got goosebumps, and yeah, I can feel that reverberating through me. That's beautiful. And everybody's version is so different. It is fascinating. I'm going to do a mashup at the end of the year of everybody's answer to that question, because it is dramatically different from one person to the other. And some people, adventure is not about travel. It's not about any of the traditional definitions of what you think are adventurous and mountaineering and different things. But you're right, just that aspect of freedom, whatever that means to you. And then obviously that it's one of my whys is like helping women realize that they can personally define their own freedom.
Yes.
You know, we each have the opportunity to personally define what that means to us. For me, it might mean one thing. For you, it might mean something different. And yeah, I just love that we've just finished on that, because it comes full circle. And yeah, it's just a really heartfelt, heart-centered answer to that question. So thank you.
Yes. Leah. Suzanne, this year I turned 50. And for my 50th birthday, I got a tattoo on my foot that says free. And if I were to sum up adventure, for me, adventure is that I now take every step free. I was like, I'm stepping into this year free, literally, right? So and metaphorically. And every step I take from this point forward will be a step I take free. And that is adventure, whether that step is stepping out into my front yard or onto the beach or going to Costa Rica or finally, hopefully coming to visit you in France.
There is a retreat next year, next June.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Yes, that is Wanderlust. That is it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's talk about that. Can you tell everybody where they can connect with you, how they can work with you, and how they can soak up more of your goodness?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I am most present on Instagram as my platform. And there I am Lea.rewild, that beautiful word. And I also have a website, which is just my full name, Lea Pickard, LeaPickard.com. And I would love just pop in to Instagram, send me a DM, say hello, because the types of connections, as we talked about earlier, the types of connections that we make when we get to be in each other's energy are just mind-blowing.
Yes. Yeah. And when they come from these collectives of women who I know are already listening, as you were saying things, I could see faces in my community, and people think that I'm sometimes not weird, but I'm vested in my community, and I love
You
staying
see
connected
people's
with people
souls.
on
You yes.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yep.
I can
Yep.
see them. And sometimes I think people think that I'm like ready to sell them something in the DMs or whatever. When I'm like, oh my gosh, I know more about their kid because I've been following along or whatever. But I genuinely take an interest. So I see, and I know there's going to be people that are going to connect with you because what you've just said is gospel.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, my beautiful sister. I'm so grateful that I think it was actually 4 years ago this month that we met.
Yes, actually, my sister who came with me, she just sent me a message, and it was she got a 4 years ago thing on her Facebook, and it was last weekend.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
So good.
Yeah.
And how lucky we are.
I know. Thank you for the beautiful work you do in the world to elevate, to help women elevate their experiences and really change their families and their lives because of it.
Thank you, Leah. So nice of you to say.
Joining me for this week's episode of Zero Wasted Days. I truly hope that you found it to be valuable and inspirational as you create and you grow your own business and work towards living more life first. I would love you to subscribe, to like this video, and of course, if you have any comments, drop them in here below. Also, if you tag me on socials, I would love to get to know you. I love connecting with my audience, so be sure to tag me at Suzanne Actison or at @ZeroWastedDays_, and I will see you inside the DMs as well as here for the next episode next week.